Good afternoon, fam. Here we are again. I've got some Walt Whitman poetry, Leaves of Grass. The poem that I just read, Song of Myself, I guess was in one of the editions of Leaves of Grass. And so in this book I have here, it has the remaining poems that were in the first and second edition. They're not the longest, but I'm going to start with one called I Saw in Louisiana a Live Oak Growing. I saw in Louisiana a live oak growing. All alone stood it, and the moss hung down from the branches. Without any companion it grew there, uttering joyous leaves of dark green, and its look, rude, unbending, lusty, made me think of myself. But I wondered how it could utter joyous leaves, standing alone, there, without its friend near, for I knew I could not. And I broke off a twig with a certain number of leaves upon it, and twined around it a little moss, and brought it away. And I have placed it in sight in my room. It is not needed to remind me as of my own dear friends, for I believe lately I think of little else than of them. Yet it remains to me a curious token. It makes me think of manly love. For all that, and though the live oak glistens there in Louisiana, solitary in a wide flat space, uttering joyous leaves all its life, without a friend, a lover near, I know very well I could not. The next poem is called Crossing Brooklyn Ferry. Flood tide below me, I see you face to face. Clouds of the west, sun there half an hour high. I see you also face to face. Crowds of men and women attired in the usual costumes. How curious you are to me. On the ferry boats, the hundreds and hundreds that cross, returning home, are more curious to me than you suppose. And you that shall cross from shore to shore years hence are more to me, and more in my meditations than you might suppose. 2. The impalpable sustenance of me from all things at all hours of the day, the simple, compact, well-joined scheme, myself disintegrated, every one disintegrated yet part of the scheme, the similitudes of the past and those of the future, the glories strung like beads on my smallest sights and hearings, on the wall in the street, and the passage over the river. The current rushing so swiftly and swimming with me far away, the others that are to follow me, the ties between me and them, the certainty of others, the life, love, sight, hearing of others. Others will enter the gates of the ferry and cross from shore to shore. Others will watch the run of the flood tide. Others will see the shipping of Manhattan north and west, and the heights of Brooklyn to the south and east. Others will see the islands, large and small. 50 years hence, others will see them as they cross, the sun half an hour high. 100 years hence, or ever so many 100 years hence, others will see them, will enjoy the sunset, the pouring in of the flood tide, the falling back to the sea of the ebb tide. 3. It avails not, time nor place, distance avails not. I am with you, you men and women of a generation, or ever so many generations hence, just as you feel when you look on the river and sky, so I felt. Just as any of you is one of a living crowd, I was one of a crowd. Just as you are refreshed by the gladness of the river and the bright flow, I was refreshed. Just as you stand and lean on the rail, yet hurry with the swift current, I stood yet was hurried. Just as you look on the numberless masts of ships and the thick-stemmed pipes of steamboats, I looked. I, too many and many a time, crossed the river of old, watched the 12th month seagulls, saw them high in the air, floating with motionless wings, oscillating their bodies, saw how the glistening yellow lit up parts of their bodies and left the rest in strong shadow, saw the slow wheeling circles and the gradual edging toward the south, saw the reflection of the summer sky in the water, had my eyes dazzled by the shimmering track of beams, looked at the fine centrifugal spokes of light round the shape of my head in the sunlit water, looked on the haze on the hills southward and southwestward, looked on the vapor as it flew in fleeces tinged with violet, looked toward the lower bay to notice the vessels arriving, saw their approach, saw aboard those that were near me, saw the white sails of schooners and sloops, saw the ships at anchor, the sailors at work in the rigging or out astride the spars, the round masts, the swinging motion of the hulls, the slender serpentine pennants, the large and small steamers in motion, the pilots in their pilot houses, the white wake left by the passage, the quick, tremulous whirl of the wheels, the flags of all nations, the falling of them at sunset, the scallop-edged waves in the twilight, the ladled cups, the frolicsome crests and glistening, the stretch afar growing dimmer and dimmer, the grey walls of the granite storehouses by the docks. On the river, the shadowy group, the big steam tug, closely flanked on each side by the barges, the hayboat, the belated lighter. On the neighboring shore, the fires from the foundry chimneys, burning high and glaringly into the night, casting their flicker of black, contrasted with wild red and yellow light, over the tops of houses and down into the clefts of streets. 4. These and all else were to me the same as they were to you. I loved well those cities, loved well the stately and rapid river. The men and women I saw were all near to me. Others the same, others who look back on me because I looked forward to them. The time will come, though I stop here today and tonight. 5. What is it then between us? What is the count of the scores or hundreds of years between us? Whatever it is, it avails not. Distance avails not, and place avails not. I too lived. Brooklyn of ample hills was mine. I too walked the streets of Manhattan Island and bathed in the waters around it. I too felt the curious, abrupt questionings stir within me. In the day among crowds of people, sometimes they came near me. In my walks home late at night, or as I lay in my bed, they came upon me. I too had been struck from the float forever held in solution. I too had received identity by my body. That I was, I knew, was of my body, and what I should be, I knew, I should be of my body. 6. Is not upon you alone the dark patches fall. The dark threw its patches down upon me also. The best I had done seemed to me blank and suspicious. My great thoughts as I supposed them? Were they not in reality meager? Nor is it you alone who know what it is to be evil. I am he who knew what it was to be evil. I too knitted the old knot of contrariety, blabbed, blushed, resented, lied, stole, grudged, had guile, anger, lust, hot wishes I dared not speak, was wayward, vain, greedy, shallow, sly, cowardly, malignant, the wolf, the snake, the hog, not wanting in me, the cheating look, the frivolous word, the adulterous wish, not wanting, refusals, hates, postponements, meanness, laziness, none of these wanting, was one with the rest, the days and haps of the rest, was called by my nighest name by clear loud voices of young men as they saw me approaching or passing, felt their arms on my neck as I stood, or the negligent leaning of their flesh against me as I sat, saw many I loved in the street, or ferry boat, or public assembly, yet never told them a word, lived the same life with the rest, the same old laughing, gnawing, sleeping, played the part that still looks back on the actor or actress, the same old role, the role that is what we make it, as great as we like, or as small as we like, or both, great and small. Seven. Closer yet, I approach you. What thought you have of me now? I had as much of you. I laid in my stores in advance. I considered long and seriously of you before you were born. Who was to know what should come home to me? Who knows? But I am enjoying this. Who knows? For all the distance. But I am as good as looking at you now, for all you cannot see me. 8. What can ever be more stately and admirable to me than mast-hemmed Manhattan, river and sunset and scallop-edged waves of flood tide, the seagulls oscillating their bodies, the hay-boat in the twilight, and the belated lighter? What gods can exceed these that clasp me by the hand, and with voices I love call me promptly and loudly by my nighest name as I approach? What is more subtle than this, which ties me to the woman or man that looks in my face? Which fuses me into you now, and pours my meaning into you? We understand, then, do we not? What I promised, without mentioning it, have you not accepted? What the study could not teach, what the preaching could not accomplish, is accomplished, is it not? Nine. Flow on, river, flow with the flood tide, and ebb with the ebb tide. Frolic on, crested and scallop-edged waves. Gorgeous clouds of the sunset, drench with your splendor me, or the men and women generations after me. Cross from shore to shore countless crowds of passengers. Stand up, tall masts of Manhattan. Stand up, beautiful hills of Brooklyn. Throb, baffled and curious brain. Throw out questions and answers. Suspend here and everywhere, eternal float of solution. Gaze loving and thirsting eyes in the house or street or public assembly. Sound out voices of young men, loudly and musically. Call me by my nighest name. Live old life, Play the part that looks back on the actor or actress. Play the old role, the role that is great or small, according as one makes it. Consider, you who peruse me, whether I may not in unknown ways be looking upon you. Be firm, rail over the river, to support those who lean idly, yet haste with a hasting current. Fly on, seabirds, fly sideways, or wheel in large circles high in the air. Receive the summer sky, you water, and faithfully hold it till all downcast eyes have time to take it from you. Diverge, fine spokes of light, from the shape of my head, or anyone's head, in the sunlit water. Come on, ships from the lower bay, pass up or down, white-sailed schooners, sloops, lighters. Flaunt away, flags of all nations. Be duly lowered at sunset. Burn your high fires, foundry chimneys. Cast black shadows at nightfall. Cast red and yellow light over the tops of the houses. Appearances, now or henceforth, indicate what you are. You necessary film, continue to envelop the soul. About my body for me, and your body for you, be hung our divinest aromas. Thrive, cities, bring your freight, bring your shows, ample and sufficient rivers. Expand, being than which none else is perhaps more spiritual. Keep your places, objects than which none else is more lasting. You have waited. You always wait. You dumb, beautiful ministers, we receive you with free sense at last, and are insatiate henceforward. Not you any more shall be able to foil us, or withhold yourselves from us. We use you, and do not cast you aside. We plant you permanently within us. We fathom you not. We love you. There is perfection in you also. You furnish your parts toward eternity. Great or small, you furnish your parts toward the soul. The next poem is called Out of the Cradle, Endlessly Rocking. Out of the cradle, endlessly rocking, out of the mockingbird's throat, the musical shuttle, out of the 9th month midnight, over the sterile sands and the fields beyond, where the child leaving his bed wandered alone, bareheaded, barefoot, down from the showered halo, up from the mystic play of shadows twining and twisting as if they were alive, out from the patches of briars and blackberries, from the memories of the bird that chanted to me, from your memories, sad brother, from the fitful risings and fallings I heard from under that yellow half-moon late risen and swollen as if with tears. From those beginning notes of yearning and love there in the mist, from the 1,000 responses of my heart never to cease, from the myriad thence aroused words, from the words stronger and more delicious than any, from such as now they start the scene revisiting, as a flock, twittering, rising, or overhead passing, borne hither, ere all eludes me, hurriedly, a man, yet by these tears a little boy again, throwing myself on the sand, confronting the waves, I, chanter of pains and joys, uniter of here and hereafter, taking all hints to use them, but swiftly leaping beyond them, a reminiscence sing. Once Palmanock, when the lilac scent was in the air, and 5th month grass was growing, up this seashore in some briars, 2 feathered guests from Alabama, 2 together, and their nest, and 4 light green eggs spotted with brown, and every day the he-bird to and fro, near at hand, and every day the she-bird crouched on her nest, silent with bright eyes, and every day I, a curious boy, never too close, never disturbing them, cautiously peering, absorbing, translating. Shine, 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 pour down your warmth, great sun, while we bask, we two together. Two together, winds blow south or winds blow north, day come white or night come black, home or rivers and mountains from home, singing all time, minding no time, while we two keep together. Till of a sudden, may be killed, unknown to her mate, one forenoon the she-bird crouched not on the nest, nor returned that afternoon, nor the next, nor ever appeared again. And thenceforward all summer in the sound of the sea, and at night under the full of the moon in calmer weather, over the hoarse surging of the sea, or flitting from briar to briar by day, I saw, I heard at intervals the remaining one, the he-bird, the solitary guest from Alabama. Blow, 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 blow up sea winds along Paumanok's shore. I wait and I wait till you blow my mate to me. Yes, when the stars glistened all night long on the prong of a moss-scalloped stake, down almost amid the slapping waves sat the lone singer, wonderful, causing tears. He called on his mate. He poured forth the meaning which I of all men know. Yes, my brother, I know. The rest might not, but I have treasured every note, for more than once dimly down to the beach gliding, silent, avoiding the moonbeams, blending myself with the shadows, recalling now the obscure shapes, the echoes, the sounds and sights after their sorts. The white arms out in the breakers, tirelessly tossing. I, with bare feet, a child, the wind wafting my hair, listened long and long, listened to keep, to sing, now translating the notes, following you, my brother. Soothe, soothe, soothe. Close on its wave, soothes the wave behind, and again another behind, embracing and lapping, everyone close, but my love soothes not me, not me. Low hangs the moon, it rose late, it is lagging. Oh, I think it is heavy with love, with love. Oh, madly the sea pushes upon the land, with love, with love. O night, do I not see my love fluttering out among the breakers? What is that little black thing I see there in the white? Loud, 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 loud I call to you, my love. High and clear I shoot my voice over the waves. Surely you must know who is here, is here. You must know who I am, my love. Low-hanging moon, what is that dusky spot in your brown yellow? Oh, it is the shape of my mate. Oh, moon, do not keep her from me any longer. Land, land, oh land, whichever way I turn, oh, I think you could give me my mate back again if only you would, for I am almost sure I see her dimly whichever way I look. Oh, rising stars, perhaps the one I want so much will rise with some of you. Oh, throat, oh, trembling throat, sound clearer through the atmosphere, pierce the woods, the earth, somewhere, listening to catch you must be the one I want. Shake out carols, solitary here, the night's carols, carols of lonesome love, death's carols, carols under that lagging, yellow, waning moon. Oh, under that moon, where she droops almost down into the sea. Oh, reckless, despairing carols. But soft, sink low, soft, let me just murmur. And do you wait a moment, you husky-noised sea, for somewhere I believe I heard my mate responding to me. So faint, I must be still to listen, but not altogether still, for then she might not come immediately to me. Hither, my love, here I am, here. With this just sustained note, I announce myself to you. This gentle call is for you, my love, for you. Do not be decoyed elsewhere. That is the whistle of the wind. It is not my voice. That is the fluttering of the spray. Those are the shallow shadows of leaves. O darkness, O in vain. O, I am very sick and sorrowful. O brown halo in the sky, near the moon, drooping upon the sea. O troubled reflection in the sea, O throat, O throbbing heart, and I sing uselessly all the night. O past, O happy life, O songs of joy, in the air, in the woods, over fields, loved, 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 but my mate no more with me. We two together, no more. The aria sinking, all else continuing, the stars shining, the winds blowing, the notes of the bird continuously echoing. With angry moans the fierce old mother incessantly moaning, on the sands of Pamanok's shore grey and rustling. The yellow half-moon enlarged, sagging down, drooping, the face of the sea, almost touching. The boy, ecstatic, with his bare feet, the waves, with his hair, the atmosphere, dallying. The love in the heart, long pent, now loose, now at last, tumultuously bursting. The aria's meaning, the ears, the soul, swiftly depositing the strange tears down the cheeks, coursing, the colloquy there, the trio, each uttering the undertone, the savage old mother incessantly crying, to the boy's soul questions sullenly timing, some drowned secret hissing, to the outsetting bard. Demon or bird, said the boy's soul, is it indeed toward your mate you sing, or is it really to me? For that was a child, my tongue's use sleeping, now I have heard you. Now in a moment I know what I am for, I awake, and already 1,000 singers, 1,000 songs, clearer, louder, and more sorrowful than yours. 1,000 warbling echoes have started to life within me, never to die. Oh, you singer, solitary, singing by yourself, projecting me. Oh, solitary me listening, never more shall I cease perpetuating you. Never more shall I escape, never more the reverberations, never more the cries of unsatisfied love be absent from me. Never again leave me to be the peaceful child I was before. What there in the night, by the sea under the yellow and sagging moon, the messenger there aroused, the fire, the sweet hell within, the unknown want, the destiny of me. Oh, give me the clue. It lurks in the night somewhere here. Oh, if I am to have so much, let me have more. A word then, for I will conquer it. The word final, superior to all. Subtle, sent up. What is it? I listen. Are you whispering it, and have been all the time, you sea waves? Is that it from your liquid rims and wet sands? Whereto, answering, the sea, delaying not, hurrying not, whispered me through the night, and very plainly before daybreak lisped to me the low and delicious word, death. And again, death, 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 hissing melodious, neither like the bird nor like my aroused child's heart, but edging near, as privately for me rustling at my feet, creeping thence steadily up to my ears, and laving me softly all over, death, 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 which I do not forget, but fuse the song of my dusky demon and brother, that he sang to me in the moonlight on Paumanok's grey beach, with 1,000 responsive songs at random, my own songs awaked from that hour, and with them the key, the word up from the waves, the word of the sweetest song and all songs, that strong and delicious word which, creeping to my feet, or like some old crone rocking the cradle, swathed in sweet garments, bending aside, the sea whispered me. The next poem is called When I Heard the Learned Astronomer. When I heard the learned astronomer, when the proofs, the figures were ranged in columns before me, when I was shown the charts and diagrams to add, divide, and measure them, when I sitting heard the astronomer, where he lectured with much applause in the lecture room, how soon unaccountable I became tired and sick, till rising and gliding out, I wandered off by myself in the most mystical, moist night air, and from time to time looked up in perfect silence at the stars. The next poem is called Cavalry Crossing a Ford. A line in long array, where they wind betwixt green islands, they take a serpentine course, their arms flash in the sun, hark to the musical clank. Behold the silvery river, in it the splashing horses loitering stop to drink. Behold the brown-faced men, each group, each person a picture, the negligent rest on the saddles. Some emerge on the opposite bank, others are just entering the ford, while scarlet and blue and snowy white, the Guidon flags flutter gaily in the wind. The next poem is called When Lilacs Last and the Dooryard Bloomed. 1. When lilacs last and the dooryard bloomed, and the great star early drooped in the western night and the western sky in the night, I mourned, and yet shall mourn with ever-returning spring. Ever-returning spring, Trinity sure to me you bring. Lilac blooming perennial and drooping star in the west, and thought of him I love. 2. O powerful western falling star, O shades of night, O moody, tearful night, O great star disappeared, O the black murk that hides the star, O cruel hands that hold me powerless, O helpless soul of me, O harsh surrounding cloud that will not free my soul. 3. In the dooryard fronting an old farmhouse, near the whitewashed palings, stands the lilac bush, tall growing, with heart-shaped leaves of rich green, with many a pointed blossom rising delicate, with the perfume strong I love, with every leaf a miracle, and from this bush in the dooryard with delicate colored blossoms and heart-shaped leaves of rich green. A sprig with its flower I break. 4. In the swamp, in secluded recesses, a shy and hidden bird is warbling a song. Solitary the thrush, the hermit withdrawn to himself, avoiding the settlements, sings by himself a song. Song of the bleeding throat, death's outlet song of life. For well, dear brother, I know, if thou wast not granted to sing, thou wouldst surely die. 5. Over the breast of the spring, the land amid cities, amid lanes and through old woods, where lately the violets peeped from the ground, spotting the grey debris. Amid the grass in the fields, each side of the lanes, passing the endless grass, passing the yellow-speared wheat, every grain from its shroud, in the dark brown fields uprisen. Passing the apple-tree blows of white and pink in the orchards, carrying a corpse to where it shall rest in the grave. Night and day journeys a coffin. 6. Coffin that passes through lanes and streets, through day and night, with the great cloud darkening the land, with the pomp of the in-looped flags, with the cities draped in black, with the show of the states themselves, as of crape-veiled women standing, with processions long and winding, and the flambeaux of the night, with the countless torches lit, with the silent sea of faces and the unbared heads, with the waiting depot, the arriving coffin, and the somber faces, with dirges through the night, with 1,000 voices rising strong and solemn, with all the mournful voices of the dirges poured around the coffin, the dim-lit churches, and the shuddering organs, where amid these you journey, with the tolling bells' perpetual clang. Here, coffin that slowly passes, I give you my sprig of lilac. 7. Not for you, for one alone, blossoms and branches, green to coffins, all I bring. For fresh as the morning, thus would I chant a song for you, O sane and sacred death, all over bouquets of roses. O death, I cover you over with roses and early lilies, but mostly, and now, the lilac that blooms the first, copious I break. I break the sprigs from the bushes. With loaded arms I come, pouring for you, and the coffins, all of you, O death. 8. O western orb, sailing the heaven, now I know what you must have meant, as a month since I walked, as I walked in silence the transparent shadowy night, as I saw you had something to tell as you bent to me, night after night, as you drooped from the sky low, down as if to my side, while the other stars all looked on, and we wandered together the solemn night, for something I know not what kept me from sleep. As the night advanced, and I saw on the rim of the west how full you were of woe, as I stood on the rising ground in the breeze, in the cool transparent night, as I watched where you passed and was lost in the netherward black of the night, as my soul in its trouble dissatisfied sank, as where you, sad orb, concluded, dropped in the night, and was gone. Chapter 9. Excuse me. Sing on there in the swamp, O singer bashful and tender. I hear your notes, I hear your call. I come presently, I understand you. But a moment I linger, for the lustrous star has detained me. The star my departing comrade holds and detains me. 10. Oh, how shall I warble myself for the dead one there I loved? And how shall I deck my song for the large sweet soul that is gone? And what shall my perfume be for the grave of him I love? Sea winds blown from east and west, blown from the eastern sea and blown from the western sea, till there on the prairies meeting, These, and with these, and the breath of my chant, I'll perfume the grave of him I love. 11. Oh, what shall I hang on the chamber walls? And what shall the pictures be that I hang on the walls, to adorn the burial house of him I love? Pictures of growing spring, and farms, and homes, with the 4th month eve at sundown, and the grey smoke lucid and bright, with floods of the yellow gold of the gorgeous, indolent, sinking sun, burning, expanding the air, with the fresh, sweet herbage underfoot, and the pale green leaves of the trees prolific. In the distance, the flowing glades, the breast of the river, with the wind dapple here and there, with ranging hills on the banks, with many a line against the sky and shadows, and the city at hand with dwellings so dense, and stacks of chimneys, and all the scenes of life, and the workshops, and the workmen homeward returning. Chapter 12. Lo, body and soul, this land, my own Manhattan with spires, and the sparkling and hurrying tides, and the ships, the varied and ample land, the south and the north in the light, Ohio's shores and flashing Missouri, and ever the far-spreading prairies covered with grass and corn. Lo, the most excellent sun, so calm and haughty, the violet and purple morn with just felt breezes, the gentle, soft-born, measureless light, the miracle spreading, bathing all, the fulfilled noon, the coming eve delicious, the welcome night and the stars, over my cities shining all, enveloping man and land. 13. Sing on, you gray-brown bird, sing from the swamps, the recesses, pour your chant from the bushes, limitless out of the dusk, out of the cedars and pines. Sing on, dearest brother, warble your reedy song, loud human song, with voice of uttermost woe. O liquid, free and tender, O wild and loose to my soul, O wondrous singer, you only I hear, yet the star holds me, but will soon depart. Yet the lilac with mastering odor holds me. 14. Now while I sat in the day and looked forth, in the close of the day with its light in the fields of spring and the farmers preparing their crops, in the large unconscious scenery of my land with its lakes and forests, in the heavenly aerial beauty after the perturbed winds and the storms, under the arching heavens of the afternoon swift passing, and the voices of children and women, the many moving sea tides, and I saw the ships, how they sailed, and the summer approaching with richness, and the fields all busy with labor, and the infinite separate houses, how they all went on, each with its meals and minutiae of daily usages, and the streets how their throbbings throbbed, and the cities pent, lo, then and there, falling upon them all, and among them all, enveloping me with the rest, appeared the cloud, appeared the long black trail, and I knew its death, its thought, and the sacred knowledge of death. Then with the knowledge of death as walking one side of me, and the thought of death close walking the other side of me, and I in the middle as with companions, and as holding the hands of companions, I fled forth to the hiding, receiving night that talks not, down to the shores of the water, the path by the swamp and the dimness, to the solemn shadowy cedars and ghostly pines so still. And the singer so shy to the rest received me. The gray-brown bird, I know, received us comrades three, and he sang the carol of death, and a verse for him I love. From deep secluded recesses, from the fragrant cedars and the ghostly pines so still, came the carol of the bird. And the charm of the carol wrapped me, as I held as if by their hands my comrades in the night, and the voice of my spirit tallied the song of the bird. Come, lovely and soothing death, undulate round the world, serenely arriving, arriving, in the day, in the night, to all, to each, sooner or later, delicate death. Praised be the fathomless universe, for life and joy, and for objects and knowledge curious, and for love, sweet love. But praise, 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 for the sure and winding arms of cool enfolding death. Dark mother, always gliding near with soft feet, have none chanted for thee a chant of fullest welcome? Then I chant it for thee, I glorify thee above all. I bring thee a song that when thou must indeed come, come unfalteringly. Approach strong, deliveress. When it is so, when thou hast taken them, I joyously sing the dead, lost in the loving floating ocean of thee, laved in the flood of thy bliss, O death. From me to thee, glad serenades, dances for thee I propose, saluting thee, adornments and feastings for thee, and the sights of the open landscape and the high spread sky are fitting, and life and the fields and the huge and thoughtful night. The night in silence under many a star, the ocean shore and the husky whispering wave whose voice I know, and the soul turning to thee, O vast and well-veiled death, and the body gratefully nestling close to thee. Over the treetops I float thee a song, over the rising and sinking waves, over the myriad fields and the prairies wide, over the dense-packed cities and all the teeming wharves and ways, I float this carol with joy to thee, O death. 15. To the tally of my soul, loud and strong, kept up the grey-brown bird, with pure deliberate notes spreading, filling the light. The night. Loud in the pines and cedars dim, clear in the freshness moist and the swamp perfume, and I with my comrades there in the night, while my sight that was bound in my eyes unclosed as to long panoramas of visions. And I saw askant the armies, I saw, as in noiseless dreams, hundreds of battle flags, borne through the smoke of the battles and pierced with missiles I saw them, and carried hither and yon through the smoke, and torn and bloody, and at last but a few shreds left on the staffs, and all in silence, and the staffs all splintered and broken. I saw battle corpses, myriads of them, and the white skeletons of young men. I saw them. I saw the debris and debris of all the slain soldiers of the war, but I saw they were not as was thought. They themselves were fully at rest. They suffered not. The living remained and suffered. The mother suffered, and the wife and the child and the musing comrade suffered, and the armies that remained suffered. Passing the visions, passing the night, passing, unloosing the hold of my comrade's hands, passing the song of the hermit bird and the tallying song of my soul, victorious song, death's outlet song, yet varying, ever-altering song, as low and wailing, yet clear the notes, rising and falling, flooding the night, sadly sinking and fainting, as warning and warning, and yet again bursting with joy, covering the earth and filling the spread of heaven, as that powerful psalm in the night I heard from recesses. Passing, I leave thee, lilac with heart-shaped leaves. I leave thee there in the dooryard, blooming, returning with spring. I cease from my song for thee, from my gaze on thee in the west, fronting the west, communing with thee, O comrade lustrous with silver face in the night, yet each to keep and all retrievements out of the night, the song, the wondrous chant of the grey-brown bird, and the tallying chant, the echo aroused in my soul, with the lustrous and drooping star with a countenance full of woe, with the holders holding my hand nearing the call of the bird, comrades mine, and I in the midst, and their memory ever to keep, for the dead I loved so well, for the sweetest, wisest soul of all my days and lands, and this for his dear sake. Lilac and star and bird twined with the chant of my soul, there in the fragrant pines, and the cedars dusk and dim. The next poem is called To a Common Prostitute. Be composed, be at ease with me. I am Walt Whitman, liberal and lusty as nature. Not till the sun excludes you do I exclude you, not till the waters refuse to glisten for you, and the leaves to rustle for you, do my words refuse to glisten and rustle for you. My girl, I appoint with you an appointment, and I charge you that you make preparation to be worthy to meet me, and I charge you that you be patient and perfect till I come. Till then, I salute you with a significant look that you do not forget me. And the last poem, A Noiseless, Patient Spider. A noiseless, patient spider I marked, whereon a little promontory it stood, isolated, marked how to explore the vacant vast surrounding. It launched forth filament, filament, filament out of itself, ever unreeling them, ever tirelessly speeding them. And you, O my soul, where you stand, surrounded, detached in measureless oceans of space, ceaselessly musing, venturing, throwing, seeking the spheres to connect them, till the bridge you will need be formed, till the ductile anchor hold, till the gossamer thread you fling catch somewhere, O my soul.